smuggling of minerals. This is something that they are looking into so that the people who are supposed to benefit from those are also benefiting. Also emphasis on getting market, that is the Ugandan president has talked about emphasizing on getting a market for our own products, the East African market and also the African market, as we also think of exploring other markets as well. And allow me, because of the interest of time, to allow my colleague Ben Kipchumba, who has been keeping tabs with what has been happening in State House, to update us more in regards to that in our subsequent bulletin. My name is Njue. Many thanks indeed for joining us for KBC Lunchtime News. My colleague on the bottom of your screen, Dingo. Time for the news, and a little bit later on we'll be talking about we are hosting everywhere in the world, and Nairobi will be hosting the World Rangers Day. Edward Ndiritu, who is the head of anti-poaching unit at Lewa Wildlife Conservancy. That is a conversation that you do not want to miss, and of course Chan Iko KBC more a little bit later. Moving on, President William Ruto has signed into law the conflict of interest bill that now restricts public officers from engaging in gainful employment that may result in conflict of interest. The head of state has also signed into law the social protection bill that establishes the National Board for Social Protection that will be in charge of cash transfers and transfers in kind to vulnerable persons, including the elderly and needy orphans. The board will include a chairman appointed by the president and 7 others.
Couples, there may be families who conspire to defraud our country.
Public officers will no longer engage in other gainful employment that may result in conflict of interest starting Wednesday.
We brought it to you for your assent in April this year.
This follows the presidential assent to the Conflict of Interest Bill 2025, the new law that mandates the EACC to investigate cases relating to conflict of interest, prohibits a public officer in the performance of an unofficial duty from granting a person preferential treatment beyond what is allowed by the law, and bars a public officer from being influenced by offers outside employment in the exercise of an official duty. It also prohibits a public officer from entering into contracts for the supply of goods and services with a public officer's entity. The law further bars a public officer from acquiring an interest in a legal entity that is party to a contract with the reporting entity in which the public officer serves. It also restricts a public officer from other gainful employment which is incompatible with the official duties or results in conflict of interest. It also requires state and public officers to submit wealth declarations twice a year. EACC will be required to investigate the conflict of interest cases within 90 days. The head of state also signed into law the Social Protection Bill 2025 that seeks to cushion vulnerable persons against economic shock, including the elderly and needy orphans. The law establishes the National Board for Social Protection, consisting of a chairperson appointed by the President, the Principal Secretary for National Treasury, the Principal Secretary for Social Protection, the Principal Secretary for Children, 1 person nominated by the Council of Governors, and 4 other persons representing persons with disabilities and organizations of older members of society. The board will be in charge of cash transfers and transfers in kind, including feeding programs and psychosocial support. Give us in minor Lunchtime News.
Moving on, a new national policy on the prevention, management and control of alcohol, drugs and substance abuse in Kenya that promises tough action, hope for victims. Speaking during the launch of the policy in Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen issued a stern warning betting drug abuse. Those found culpable, including chiefs and police officers, will be dismissed, prosecuted, not transferred. According to NACADA chair, Reverend Dr. Mairori said the policy also focuses on compassion and healing, calling addiction a disease, not a crime. He emphasized the need for more rehabilitation centers and community-based recovery programs.
Any chief, any police officer, any OCS whose jurisdiction
is a drug haven will be dealt with according to the law. They will not be transferred. They will be removed from service.
This policy provides a clear framework for interagency coordination, intelligence sharing, and stricter enforcement of existing laws to dismantle the networks of producers, traffickers, and peddlers who profit from human suffering. We are sending a clear message. There will be no sanctuary for those who endanger our people.
Today is not just a policy launch, it is a bold statement. It is a statement that says, enough is enough.
Very well, at about 43 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for a fast break, but when we come back, we still have more news for you. Don't go away.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke. Application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. From the first whistle to the last goal, let us cheer loud and proud. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News. Moving on, Keyo North Commissioner Julius Maio is urging parents to use their children, nurture their instead of letting them stay idle. To now step in and monitor their children's behavior during the break. For Maio called on other stakeholders, including church leaders, to engage students on their studies and morals to nurture them for a great future.
Ningependa kutoa wito na kusema kwamba ni lazima tulee watoto kwa njia ya ufasaha. Mtoto akifanya makosa ni lazima aambiwe kwamba hiyo ni makosa. Wakati huu sasa ambao mmepewa ya wiki 3 kuwa na watoto wenu, hii ni fursa mzuri kwenu kuweza kuongea na mtoto wako. Watoto wanapofanya strike kwa shule, wanafanya kama watoto wengi, lakini mtoto anapokuja nyumbani ni mtoto wako peke yake ndiye anakuja nyumbani. Na nataka niwaambie wanafunzi kwa ukweli, mtihani lazima wafanye. Na serikali imeweka mikakati kwamba mitihani hiyo itasimamiwa kapambe na hakuna room ya wizi hata kidogo.
Still on matters education, pressure is mounting on the government over the crisis in school capitation funds, with education stakeholders, members of parliament and disability advocates urging a review of the funding model. This comes even as President William Ruto reaffirmed his administration's commitment to sustain free education in public schools.
School in Kalama, Machakos County, stakeholders attending a disability assessment camp decried continued funding of ghost schools while deserving learners are left out.
We are indeed worried and concerned that the government is considering reducing capitation allocation for the schools.
The Kenya National Union of Private Security Workers also weighed in, warning that quality education will remain elusive unless the capitation model is urgently reviewed.
Wale wanaallocate pesa katika Jamhuri ya Kenya ni members of parliament. Nataka kuambia wabunge mahali wako wote katika Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Education ya secondary na primary ni free.
The growing calls highlight the urgency in reforming the school funding structure, especially to support learners in marginalized communities and children with disabilities.
First instance, learners with disabilities are at a disadvantage because there are additional resources that they may require.
President William Ruto has, however, reaffirmed his government's commitment to free primary and secondary education. Julius Ogina, Lunchtime News.
Principal Secretary for Medical Services, Dr. Ouma Oluga, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to providing quality healthcare to all Kenyans. In an exclusive interview with Channel 1 health reporter Marie Yambo, Dr. Oluga has called on employers to remit statutory deductions promptly to support the Social Health Authority, SHA, in fulfilling its mandate.
Exclusively to KBC Channel 1, Dr. Oluga began by enumerating some of his achievements since being appointed the Principal Secretary of Medical Services in April this year.
So the first crisis, health workers sorted. The second crisis, vaccine sorted. The third was to stabilize the systems and the SHA. By the time I was coming to office, we were just 21 million Kenyans who had registered. We are now nearing 25 million. We are around 24.8.
Dr. Oluga condemned the failure by some employers to remit Social Health Insurance Fund shift deductions, curtailing smooth delivery of health services to Kenyans.
You have paid your lecturers. You have paid your employees. You have they can see, the pay slip can show that you deducted the money. So where did you take the money? That one, ESCC, DCI should go in and get those institutions, because we also have to stop indiscipline in this country. We have to stop corruption.
Dr. Oluga emphasized that the Social Health Insurance Fund shift uses a means testing tool to ensure that contributions are based on individuals' financial capacities.
The border rider may be getting like 1,000 or 500 shillings every day. Okay, the person selling tomatoes may be getting 1,000 shillings every week. So they are very different. So we cannot just say the way NHIF said, all of us, everyone, 500 shillings. There are people who cannot afford 500 shillings.
He added that the fund allows for payment in installments to ease the burden on contributors. The PS also warned health facilities against defrauding SHA, stating stern action will be taken against culprits. Marie Yambo reporting for the Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, education stakeholders are appealing to the government to include funds to support the ongoing provision and supply of science kits to junior and senior secondary schools in the National Government Constituency Development Funds, NGCDF. The group says the science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM kits are meant to support schools that do not have laboratories as learners gear up to join senior secondary schools in the coming year. Led by Schools Equipment Production Unit, SEPU, Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joel Mabonga, they said that the kits compared to full laboratories are cheaper and offer the same services as a laboratory. Sentiments echoed by Johnson Ochuma, an Assistant Director at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD.
These serve as mini labs that makes the study of science more practical and makes it accessible to areas and schools that are not able to easily access the traditional large laboratories.
The kits are quite affordable compared to if you are to do a full mobile lab. If you are to do a construction of a lab and be able to equip it, you're talking to maybe close to 3 million, 4 million. If you get a mobile lab that is going to cost Kenya shillings 200,000, they can be able to serve the same purpose.
We have also reformed the teacher education program. So at the moment, the TTCs are training teachers who are CBE compliant, and by the time in the next maybe 1 year or two, teachers will be available to teach these technical subjects.
Still on education, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training, Dr. Esther Thara Moria, has hailed the government's effort in developing space for TVET through partnerships. Speaking in Mombasa, Dr. Moria said it was commendable that national government administration officers are now mobilizing young people at the grassroots level to join TVET institution.
At a forum in Mombasa, the TVET's Principal Secretary Esther Moria said the department has a dedicated sector in marketing, working closely with national government administration officers to mobilize young people at the grassroots level to join TVET institutions.
Officially, we have been able to grow to 700,000 na tutaendelea na tunaendelea. Kwa sababu hata hapa tumesema iko wale watu tumesema they are not in education, they are not in employment and they are not in training. Hao watu kwa sababu sisi kama serikali we are into 100% transition mpaka tuwaendee, na ndio tunatumia ma-chiefs, ma-assistant chiefs ndio tuwalete, na sasa tumevunja training ya ndio to train watoto for 3 months, we certify them.
She stated that through the Young Africa Works Kenya TVET program, more youth who qualify to join university have embraced vocational training.
The RPL policy, which we have now rolled out and ensured that all the young people through the RPL policy, even old, who have skills out there but are not yet certified through the RPL policy, we are able to bring them on board through certification.
Dr. Agnes Wahome, the Chief Executive Officer, Kenya University and College Central Placement Services, who attended the forum, said it was prudent to develop programs that resonate with the needs and interests of young people, aligned to the current world technological trends.
We have seen a great interest in the modular courses, where students can take a program within a few months and they get into the job market. The contribution of CICAN, of course, is felt in this.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Christine Matunda.
Another news, a new police station has been established in Gakoe, Gatundu North Constituency, Kiambu County, in a move aimed at enhancing security and addressing increasing cases of farm produce theft. The facility, funded through the National Government Constituency Development Fund, will boost security in Gakoe area and neighboring villages where farmers have long battled organized gangs targeting their harvest. The move comes as local leaders reaffirm the government's commitment to strengthening public safety.
Lazima ni make sure ati security, ulinzi katika constituency yetu utaimarika kabisa, na hata tuta make sure kutakuwa na watu kwa cell, kwa sababu ukora itakuwa imeisha na tabia zimekuwa mzuri.
Interdenominational religious leaders from across Africa have called on the church to take more active roles in providing moral and ethical oversights in the country's leadership. In their joint address, the clerics emphasized the church's historic role in guiding nations through times of crisis and transformation. The appeal was made during a week-long convention in Nairobi dubbed One Accord, which brought together representatives from over 20 Christian denominations across Africa. They urged Christian institutions to reclaim their space in discerning and nurturing good leadership.
Kanisa lingeshikana lina nguvu kushinda hata chama. Kanisa ikishikana ina nguvu hata kushinda serikali. Na ndiposa tunahitaji tujue kunahitaji kuwe na separation. Kuna church na kuna government. Ili church ikitazama inafundisha righteousness, inafundisha principles of life, ya kwamba church inahitaji kujua iko na nguvu.
Fronts in the nation, because Africans are still trying to go about their tradition. The women are being relegated to the background. They should give the women an opportunity to also be in the leadership. It will help a lot.
Non-state actors and security agencies are calling for stakeholders to foster partnership and address issues related to preventing and countering violent extremism across the country. They also advocated for a multifaceted approach and a culture of knowledge exchange for timely intervention. They were speaking right here in Nairobi during the launch of a stakeholders reflection and feedback and national strategy plan to counter violent extremism.
So that necessary action can be taken. If members of the public do not share, remember the police are not in the last mile. So any information shared will be treated in confidence.
One of the things that we are doing at a regional level is enhancing their capacity and their leadership in matters to do with preventing and countering violent extremism, and in addition to see how we can work with other like-minded institutions like what Search for Common Ground is doing research studies to identify really how women can be meaningfully engaged.
And with the approach to involve all, to leave no one behind, and to engage in platforms where we are able to work and collaborate and make our communities safer, we see the need for us to work as civil society, as government, as media actors, and to also bring all women, both young and old, into the conversation about enabling peace and security.
Very well, to our interactive segment now, as I had mentioned earlier, is that tomorrow is World Rangers Day, a day just to remember the hard work that rangers, both in conservation of plants and animals, are really doing Kenya and the world a great favor by making sure that we have conserved our environment and we have also conserved our wildlife. And joining me on set, because of the interest of time, allow me to just delve right in. Edward Ndiritu, head of anti-poaching unit at Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, and he's also a member of Game Rangers Association of Africa Leadership Council. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. We have seen a lot of conservation efforts, and when it comes to animals, and we have seen poaching as well, and especially when it comes to rhinos and you know, some of the animals that you find these products are ending up in the Asian market. So, with honesty, poaching has evolved. And how have you also evolved as a conservation body that ensures that animals are conserved, and especially our rhinos?
Thank you very much. I'll start by saying, you know, as you said, tomorrow is World Ranger Day.
Yes.
You know, rangers are the people who are in the front line to protect nature. Mm-hmm. And as you ask the question, you know, animals that we protect because of nature. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we, the rangers, we know very well that we are the people who are standing in between mm-hmm. the people or the community mm-hmm. and protecting the wildlife. Mm-hmm. So, as rangers, we work day and night. And, you know, for a ranger, you don't have hours because, you know, even wildlife do not have Christmas, New Year's, or they don't have Sundays, or they don't close, or they don't have hours. Mm-hmm. So, the work of a ranger is to make sure that the wildlife is safe. And also the work of the ranger is to make sure that the nature is conserved because of the future generations. Mm-hmm. And we know very well that we are doing that to protect the wildlife that cannot protect themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have your efforts now evolved? Because even poachers have also evolved. Technology is also there as well.
I have been a ranger for the past 28 years, and through that time I have run a lot, and I have seen many things changing, because in the past how the poachers were reacting is different from what they are doing today. And by doing that, you know, we, the rangers, and also the people who are in the conservation, we have to change our tactics, we have to invest, we have to improve our operations, we have to invest in technologies. I'll give a very good example in Lewa. Because, you know, in the past, how the poachers were poaching in the past, there were people who were just walking in, spending the night maybe in the park, poach, go on foot. And nowadays, you know, you have means of transport. We have borders, we have vehicles. It's very easy to access. We have roads. You know, everything has a challenge. You know, by having proper roads, it's another challenge. So even as we have invested in technologies, we have invested in equipment. Like an example, we ourselves in Lewa now, we have drones that can fly even at night, because, you know, even the poachers take advantage to come and poach at night when the moon is bright. So we have to invest also in drones that have a capability of night visions and thermal images. We have also invested in thermal images. We also have invested in a helicopter that can fly at night, because 90% of rhino poaching, especially, you know, rhinos are the most endangered animal in the world. Happens when the moon is bright and is at night. So we have also invested in helicopter that can fly at night. Yeah.
Now, how important is the community? Because when you began, you did talk about how you're working together with communities. How important are the communities, and especially when it comes to conservancies?
You know, conservation is all about people. And without people or the community, you cannot win that war. You might be having well-trained rangers, well-equipped rangers, but without the community on your side, you cannot be able to achieve your objective. Because, you know, the people who are involved in poaching is not just by people in the community. It's driven by people like a syndicate, people who are well organized and criminal activity. So the people who are out there, we are lucky here in Kenya, because I myself, as you said, you know, I'm in the Leadership Council of African Game Ranger Association. I interact with rangers from different countries. And here in Kenya, we have people who love wildlife, people who have the ownership of their wildlife, because people feel that when they lose an animal, it is theirs. So we ourselves in Lewa and also in Kenya, you have to work very close with the community, because they are the ears and eyes of protecting the wildlife. We normally say that community are the first line of defense. Yeah.
And how are you ensuring that we are reducing the cases of human-wildlife conflict? Because at the end of the day, you will find that when it comes to elephant, hippos, some people even want just to have them dead and eat them.
Yeah, that's true. You know, that's a big challenge we are having now, human-wildlife conflict. And for us to try and balance that, you know, thanks to the government, because, you know, there is compensation from the government. And also we ourselves in the private sector, people like Lewa and other conservancy, what we normally try to do our best is to educate people, to respond, and also to start projects that have a direct benefit to the community. Because, you know, when the community is out there, for example, a good example is in Lewa, because we have community projects like water project, education project. We have bursaries that we give to kids when they go to school. You have to show the community that they need to be part and parcel of protecting the wildlife. The human-wildlife conflict is a big challenge all over the world, but, you know, it is happening because, you know, in the past, we did not have the population that we have now. People have interfered with their corridors, and it is very sensitive. And if you educate people, and also you have a group that can respond and protect those wildlife from getting to the people's farms or properties.
I want us to also look at the cross-border conservation efforts, because at the end of the day, if Kenya, we are conserving our wildlife and Tanzania are not, and we share part of the Mara and the Serengeti, then we're doing the work will be counterproductive. Next month, I think you have the African Rangers Congress right here in Nairobi. So what are some of the things that you could be talking about?
Yeah, you know, not next month, it will be in September, this year.
Yeah.
We are going to have Africa Ranger Congress, which is going to happen in Lewa. We are lucky it is happening in Lewa. It happens after every 3 years. And, you know, for every country to have this Congress happen to their country, it will take us like 30 or 40 years for it to come back to Kenya again. So it is happening in Lewa on 17th to 21st. And this is an avenue or a meeting that rangers do normally meet and share ideas, exchange their tactics, we learn from each other. We learn from other countries what they are doing. We have cases that maybe the challenges that we're having in Kenya, like what you are saying about the human wildlife conflict. We talk to people from Namibia. What are they doing? We might get something to learn from them because, you know, every day is a school day and you have to learn from each other. Rangers, we try our best to be connected, and Rangers, I think, are the most connected people because we have a network. Even through WhatsApp, I have people from South Africa, Namibia, from Malawi, from Uganda. Anytime we normally talk, and whenever they have a challenge, they talk to us. If we see whether we can, we have gone through that challenge so that we exchange ideas. So in the Congress, it will be very interesting because we are going to learn more from each other. Happening in Kenya.
All right, and we'll be keeping tabs to know exactly what has come out of that Congress. What is your message to your fellow Rangers who risk life and limb to protect our nature, both animals and plants as well?
My message to all Rangers in the world, not only in Kenya or Africa.
I'd like you to look at one of the cameras, the camera 5, yes.
Yeah, my message to all Rangers all over the world, Africa and Kenya, is that continue doing what you do, because we know very well that you are in the front line, protecting the wildlife or the nature because of future generations, and also you are protecting wildlife that cannot protect themselves. But please know that there are people who are out there who care and know what you are doing. Thank you.
Let us look at the future outlook in the wake of technology. I know you're doing a fantastic job on the rhinos, and when it comes to conservation, I don't think Leo has lost even one rhino since you started conserving them, and the numbers are increasing. What is the future outlook, bearing in mind that we are also having challenges like the technology is coming in, which not only you guys are using, but the poachers are also using that technology?
To be honest, as you said, you know, even the poachers are using technology.
Yes.
Lewa, to correct your statement, we have also lost rhinos since we started our conservation.
Okay.
Yeah, rhinos
poachers?
Through poaching. And I remember very well in 2011, 2012, 2013, that's the time that we were losing rhinos all over the country and also all over Africa.
Yes.
The pike was very high. And thanks to government, because they came up with ideas, they came up with strategy, creating a team, training more rangers from Kenya Wildlife Service, and also we ourselves, the private sectors like Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, we came up with new ideas because we came to realize that we were not well working with the community. So we got close to the community, and also we invested with the technology that I have just said, and also we came to realize that we were not doing enough for our rangers because, you know, the people who are in the front line, they need to be looked after. And when I mean looked after, is their welfare, because, you know, those guys are also parents, they are brothers, they are sisters of people, and you have to look after them, and you have to make sure that they are in an area where they are comfortable.
And you've mentioned you've mentioned you've lost some of the rhinos. How about from 2013? Because your conservation efforts just keep growing, especially for the rhinos.
You know, when the government came up with new ideas of working with the community and also building new teams and also working with all government agencies, because you know, this crime of poaching is not done by people who are only involved in wildlife crime. It's done by a syndicate, people who are involved in other crimes. That we woke up all over Africa, all over the world, and realized that this issue of poaching, we need to work as a team, working with other like national police, all agencies that do security. Other service was really, we realized that by working as a team and also bringing the community. Yeah, if you bring the community and they see the ownership, they are the first line of defense. So we have worked very well. The last time we lost rhino in Lewa, it was 2020. Yeah.
All right, in 10 seconds, your final sentiments in regard especially to your fellow rangers, or even you can tell Kenyans why we really need to conserve not only our environment, but also where our animals are.
My message to all Kenyans and to the rangers, we need to continue doing what we do. I know very well that Kenyans are people who like and love wildlife. Let's keep it going. We don't want to be like other countries that I don't want to mention here, but we are doing very well, and our Rangers continue doing what you do, and we are doing that because of the children and children of our children. Yeah.
I totally concur. It's indeed our future and that of our loved ones. So we have been speaking to Edward Ndiritu, who is the head of anti-poaching unit at the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, into perspective transformative conservation and what exactly they are doing to ensure that we also wildlife. And remember, we are celebrating the World Rangers Day tomorrow worldwide, just to celebrate these guys and also look at the steps that we have in terms of conservation. Thank you so much for your time and for your insight.
And thank you very much, and thank you very much for being a good ambassador for wildlife.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on, micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, especially women-led businesses and agribusiness-related enterprises, are set to benefit from a 2.6 billion shillings funding supported by the UK government's development finance institution. The cash from the British International Investment will target small businesses engaged in agricultural production, processing, logistics, infrastructure, and broader value chain activities. The cash will be channeled through Family Bank, whose CEO Nancy Njue says small businesses in Kenya face challenges in accessing affordable financing.
We are signing up today is going to help us to walk journeys with those customers. We facilitate them as they do trade. We facilitate them as they do their agribusiness and the entire value chains of whatever they do. So it will come in handy to help us do that.
We're seeing a lot of demand. As at Q1 year-on-year, we've seen our MSME sector grow by 39%. And we're seeing that trend being replicated into the future.
Crucial to drive the GDP and growth of the Kenyan economy, but also critical sectors like agriculture. 25% contribution to GDP from the agriculture sector. There are very, very few financial institutions that really focus on this sector, really understand it, and can help it grow.
Embrace high-value crops and livestock farming to boost their income streams and enhance food security. Speaking at Mumias Cultural Center, Kakamega County Governor Fernandez Barasa said the devolved unit is working closely with the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project to empower locals through upskilling to transforming the agricultural sector.
Kupitia kwa mpango wa KEMS ambayo inaitwa Kenya Integrated Agricultural Management Information System, tumesajili wakulima 1230. Hawa wakulima wote ambao wamesajiliwa kupitia katika mfumo huo wa KEMS ni wakulima ambao wanatakikana kusaidiwa na hawa agripreneurs. So you as agripreneurs, you are going to be our extension officers. Kazi yenu ni kutembea in all the wards ili kusaidia wakulima wetu kwa ufugaji wa samaki, mambo ya kuku, mambo ya dairy cattle, na pia kuwasaidia kwa shughuli nyingine za ufugaji.
Time for sports. Kenya national women's volleyball team, the Malkia Strikers, ahead of the 2025 FIVB Women's World Championships, which are set to take place 2 September the 7th in Thailand. The team is currently in residential training camp at the Njue National Stadium, where they are focusing on key technical areas in readiness for the global tournament and have been drawn in a tough Pool G alongside Poland, Germany and Vietnam. The final 14-player squad will be announced ahead of an international friendly tournament in Vietnam from the 15th to the 20th, which will serve as a test before the World Championships begin.
Preparing well, the team is in high spirits. Today we are having a friendly match with the juniors to try and help them also come up. And the camp is full of happiness. Well, each position has got its responsibilities and merits. So we trimmed as per the positions. So we looked at the function of each position in order to get the best. The rest who went home, they are not that badly off, but they need a bit of polishing. There's always the next time.
Kila mtu anajituma area yake. Coaches wanajaribu introduce not new things but just to polish on the things that we really need to work on, like reception, service, the blocks and attacking in areas zenye zitatumek to make good points when we go there in the championship.
Further afield, Liverpool winger Luis Diaz has completed a £65.5 million move to Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich. The Colombian international has signed a 4-year deal with the German giants, bringing to an end his 3.5-year stay at Anfield. Diaz. That report takes us to the end of Channel 1 Lunchtime News this Wednesday. Remember, Chan Iko KBC. And of course, before then, we will be telling you all about some of the teams that will be playing in that competition. Kenya playing on Sunday, and the tickets, 48,000, have already been sold out. But one thing is, your True Sports partner, KBC Channel 1, will be right here to beam that match live and free. Many thanks indeed for joining us on behalf of everyone, the big crew that has worked tirelessly to ensure that you are updated. My name is Njue. My colleague on the bottom of your screen is Lensa Odingo. Do have yourself a fantastic afternoon ahead.
Wakenya wenzangu, this August, something big is happening. Chan 2024 is here and Harambee Stars are ready to shine. Let us come together and support our boys as they fight for glory. From the first whistle to the last goal, let us cheer loud and proud. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 and let's cheer our boys. Because when Harambee Stars win, Kenya wins. Twende kazi, Team Kenya, all the way.
One thing goals, like now, much ikienda, God gives you another thing.
I experience many challenges, especially when I will go to a bus station where I need to board a matatu. and they asked me, where are you going? And I am forced to write somewhere for the conductor to understand how much he will cost me.
Differently.